Welcome back to EURUSD, guys. I'm going to go over the setups I'm looking for the Euro session starting tonight into Wednesday morning and afternoon. I finally did some work on the levels a little bit. I haven't really adjusted them much over the past few weeks. I've just been super busy, and I'll try to adjust local levels, but not really looking at it at a broader perspective. Lucky for me, we haven't had much of a range recently. As you can see, the past few weeks there's a lot of consolidation. I mean, right here is from 1271 up to 1380, so like a 90-point range over like the course of almost a week right there. So that's not a lot. We had a nice little sell like last Monday. After which we just kind of consolidated for 24 hours, broke out, and now we've been pretty much consolidating. I would say in this general range from 1265 to 1175, so another 90-point range. Let's get into the setups I'm looking for. We are currently on a 2 hour, like I mentioned. I don't think I need to go to the shorter time frames just yet. I have some straightforward setups that I can tell you right now, as easy as 1, 2, 3. The first one I'm looking for is ideally a dip fail breakdown, and potentially what would look like a dip in recovery as well of these lows. Now we might not quite get there. It could look like something like this. It could look something like where we get down, maybe we dip below right here, and then we go back up and go level to level. I wouldn't love it if we don't go below this low, but it could be the only option. The reason I wouldn't love it is because this level has not been tested once, twice, 3 times, and this would be the fourth. If this fourth bounce happens without a clear setup that I'm looking for, it could probably sell down a little bit. I'm not looking for a short, but I'm looking for maybe a sell down to this level where I would expect a possible dip in recovery as a great setup. And if you miss that, then when it goes back up, you can get the failed breakdown of this low. So that's the second setup I'm looking for after this failed breakdown of this level. Hate looking for setups when we're at the high of the day. It's just much harder, so that's why I'm looking for selling first. I'll discuss what I see above in a second. Now, over time tomorrow, if we do get a more decent sell-off, I'm looking for a couple of things. The second one I mentioned was the dip in recovery of this level. If that's missed, you can catch the failed breakdown if that hasn't occurred already. After that, I'm looking for a dip in recovery of this level. One can clearly see we tested it once, twice, broke through, came back and reclaimed it, and we took off from there overnight. So what can you expect from a breakout point? You can expect a back test, and that will be right here. So I'm going to put actually for the DNR as well as back test. I'm actually going to take DNR off now because we know when it's a back test, we could just be open to different possibilities within that. Now, if none of that works and we have a nice controlled sell where we're bouncing a little bit but not quite giving the setups that we need, great. I'm looking for a failed breakdown of last Friday's clear low. You can see this clear low, this V shape, and that I think would be a great opportunity to ride back up long and hit this top of the bull flag. One can see we bounced twice off of this bull flag last Monday. Since then, we've pretty much been like going up. We flagged a little bit below the central line of that bull flag before breaking out from it. A back test will be great. A dip in recovery maybe, or maybe that happens a little later this week. Who knows? But those are the first few setups I'm looking for. I want to clear that up again. I'm looking for a failed breakdown of these lows. If not, a dip in recovery of this level. If you missed that, then you could be able to add on the failed breakdown of here after some proper acceptance. And if that doesn't work out, there's a back test over here. That's the third option. That's a great long. And below that will be a failed breakdown of here. Another great option. Just have to be a little patient because it could be something that happens quick. It could back test this from the bottom and then start selling back down. So just keep in mind those few options. Anything below that will start to get dicey, and I'm looking for a failed breakdown down at this macro level. While we're here, I want to just look at this chart. I haven't thought about this yet to you guys, but like let's talk about what the bull bear line would be. And what I essentially mean by that is like, what level are we fighting at? And that will be this level right here, this level right here. So I would take away that this is a major zone now, and I'm looking at a more broader major zone, and that would be, as much as I want to say this macro line, I think this line is a clear one for now. So I think this whole area could get very choppy, try to trap people both ways before taking off. So let me just go back and talk about this again so you have an understanding. You can see we broke out through this out of the macro level. We back tested this zone, took off, back tested it again. Second entry provided the long of this year so far. Came back, another great long off of that. Almost tested it, another long. Would have been a dip in recovery this level. Gave us one more bounce here before selling down. Came back to back test that zone again here. Back tested it again here. Back tested it again here. And now we're trying to break through. So overall, I'm just trying to teach you that this is a very key zone. It will probably determine what the next rest of the month looks like. So let me just kind of draw a little bit of a rectangle here. I want to show you guys so you can clearly see why this is of importance. One can clearly see all the interaction we had. Excuse me 1 second. Put that a little higher than I liked. You can clearly see how important this area has been all through. I'm looking for, right now, if you ask me what do you think is going to happen, well, I would say we have a couple things going on. We have this backtest that came from the macro level. As I've always told you, my blue levels are immaculate. These are levels from years ago that have been shown to be inflection points for bigger runs, whether they're up or down. So we did give a nice test off of that and bounce strong, so that's very bullish to me. We are still consolidating in this huge bull flag, so my initial reaction would be I'd love to see, and I would assume that we will test this top of the bull flag again. That's the first reaction. The second reaction is I want to see it stay above this area and defend this area, even if we get one more bounce below before going back up. Otherwise, if we go below, reject from below and go back down, that could spell trouble. Then I would be very cautious a little bit, taking my longs, not rushing into them. Overall, I still think we're in a consolidation, and the market will let us know what is the best way to go. But I think longs are always the way, even in a bear market. Going to a 15-minute chart, you could see a dip in recovery, fail breakdown at this low right here. That would be a little bit less likely, but it is nonetheless an option, just because if we're bullish, we might not get a better option. So I want to just show you what that looks like before I let you guys go. Geez, how do I forget sometimes? There we go. Okay, so what that could look like is, and we have a still not a new high, so we're still below. But let's say this gets rejected and we come back here, little bounce, and we sell whatever way we get there, but we go a little bit below, and then we trigger above this low, and then ideally we consolidate maybe a little bit, and then we take off. That could be one way. The other way could be we might just get a straight up fail breakdown, and you could use this new low as an entry. And those are some of the different ways. Otherwise, we don't have much way to go above here. I wouldn't really want to be buying at this level, just so little from the top, but keep an eye on it. I mentioned the setups I'm looking for earlier in this video. Have a great day and good luck. Let me just go to actually ES real quick. So one of the options my mentor gave was look for a dip below 59.45, tag 36, and recover 45. That's kind of happening right now. So let's look at a 5-minute, see how we tagged it, dip, pushed through, sold back down. This could be an entry. I would probably want to see a little bit push above this new high, and then maybe a long for like a nice 7-8 point gain. It's 59.57, and then take off most of your position there. So let's see, below that I'm looking for a failed breakdown here, and that's the best option for Euro USD. Otherwise you're looking at a failed breakdown of this low and these cluster of lows, maybe down to this level and then go back up above that, or maybe tag 5900 and reclaim 5910. A little complicated, a little choppy right now in Euro, in the ES, but let's see what happens.